The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
Hello, this is Patty's Page, and I'm Patty Hunter. So welcome to my show this morning, good evening, good afternoon. Anyways, to my left is going to be Belle Dean. Hello, Belle
Hi.
Dean. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
I'm glad you're here. We got a lot to talk about, girl, over the next half hour. So, where were you born then?
I was born in Soleil, Haiti. It is a small town in Haiti on the south coast, about a little bit over 50 miles from Port-au-Prince.
Port-au-Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been back recently, or what?
I go every year.
Every year?
Every year. I have grandparents and family members still there, so I go there every year and catch up and serve the community and be myself.
So when did you move to, where did you move after from Hades?
I moved from Haiti to Gary, Indiana. My grandmother on my mother's side is from Indiana, so I lived there for a lot of my life, for my youth life, until I got to an adult.
I'm glad you're an adult. Your birthday is in about a
Sometimes.
couple of weeks, eh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, April 9th. When you were growing up, who had influenced you the most?
The most? I think I would probably say my grandmother on my mother's side, because she was very patient. And most of all, she just taught me that life is not fair, but you have a choice at how you deal with it. So, and coming from a different walk of life than most people, I had to learn that my journey is not like other people's journey. So I had to learn to deal with what I had at that moment and be the best that I could be. So,
You're doing a good job.
yeah.
So, while growing up, where'd you go to school, universities, colleges, where?
Well, I went to high school at Theodore Roosevelt, and I graduated at the top, like 3% of my class. And then after that, I went to Purdue University for business administration and elementary education.
Here in Fort Wayne?
No.
Where was it?
This was at Calumet in Hammond, Indiana.
All right.
And then after that, I went to the International Air and Hospitality Academy, where I graduated with honors there and was the class speaker. So, and that was in 2008.
What'd you speak about?
Aviation. That's
Ah.
how I became a flight attendant.
Oh, you became a flight attendant. Oh,
Yes.
lovely. How long were you with them then?
I became a flight attendant in 2008, and I ended in 2015.
That's a long time.
Yes.
7 years. So, when you were a stewardess, what did you do? I mean, you had to serve the people, push carts up and down, make sure they're all belted in.
Well, most people, when they look at flight attendants, that's the first thing that they think. They think that, yes, of course, we do serve drinks, but for the most part, our drilling and our training is about maintaining the safety of that flight. So if something was to happen, we are in control. Most people think that the pilots do that, but the pilot's main concern is dealing with making sure that that aircraft safely takes off and lands.
Right.
So everything else goes under the guidelines of the flight attendant. If it's conflict resolution, inquiries, or a disgruntled passenger, or anything with safety, it's the flight attendant's job.
Wow. So it's like the, the the pilots are the doctors, and the stewardess is like the nurses.
I guess so. I guess you could say that.
I say nurse. So after you were dismissed from this job, were you dismissed or?
I got laid off. It was
I'm sorry.
no. Actually, that turned out to be the best thing. I didn't. Flying was almost like the only thing I knew how to do, and it was so crazy because I never wanted to be a flight attendant. Thought I was just gonna be a teacher. I knew I was gonna help people, but I thought that I was gonna be a teacher because most of my family that's in any kind of occupation is dealing with public service, helping people, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So when I didn't do that and I became a flight attendant, that was what I trained my mind into doing. That's all I knew was just flying and serving. And so when I got my letter through the mail, which they told me it was going to be 2 months later, but it was that day, it kind of just
Flew you right off.
yeah, it shrunk me, especially being a young adult.
Yeah.
And
How
this is
old
what
were
you
you at that time?
at that time I was 26.
26?
Yes,
To leave
26.
us.
Yeah.
So what happened to you afterwards?
So after that, I just tried to look for work other places. I would get turned down, and they would say either you're overqualified or you're underqualified, and that just infuriated me. I was just like, I couldn't understand it. So I went to like townships and things like that to get help, and they wouldn't help me because they said I had a lot of stocks, and so I had to sell all my assets, and I ended up becoming homeless for a little bit.
You have a car? You
I
live out of it?
I slept in my car.
How
I
long were
slept
you
in my
in
car.
that position?
I slept in my car for like 3 months, and then later I finally went to a shelter. Yeah, I stayed there for like a little bit until I ended up getting my benefits back. So,
Right. So, see this here? This beautiful, what do you call it? Billboard or something like that? What is it about then?
well, I guess you can call it a bulletin, but it's just a
Oversized one?
vinyl banner. Most people call
Banner.
it a vinyl banner.
Banner, that's it. What's it about?
Okay, so during my time, I could not find either. I was being told that I was overqualified or underqualified, so I just started doing something that I was trained on doing. My grandparents in Haiti and in Indiana, especially my grandmothers, made makeup and jewelry. So I just started making makeup from scratch and selling it door to door. A lot of people did not like that. I did get a lot of turn downs, a lot of people being very rude, but I found out that I found a great income. There were a lot of people that loved it, and I continued to make it until I saved up enough money to create
Your makeup.
my makeup line. Yes,
So it's basically the eye makeup.
yes,
And the lips?
it's eye and lipstick.
Just eye and lips. Yes, it looks very colorful. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
So very, very colorful. Some of them, are they just for African Americans or for Caucasians or Asians? Or
Well, if you see on the page, you'll see like different shades. So it kind of doesn't matter. With makeup, you just have to know the chemical balance of what makes up a person's face. If they're like a rose tone, or if they have yellow undertones or blue undertones. So and that goes basically to like the natural warm and cool tones. Some people have olive skin or
Yes.
green skin. So I can usually it's for all types. I've worked on a lot of people.
Can I wear it?
Sure. Sure. I worked on a lot of people and a couple of sets. Last month, I just worked with CBS in Chicago with my makeup. It also has let me be able to sponsor other places. In Fort Wayne, I was a sponsor for Pokey Chapman in the Indiana Fever for the girls' night that they had for the Manettes game on February 1st of
wow.
this year. Also, we do a couple of benefits for a girls' shelter in Haiti. So
You say you were from Haiti and you go back now and then. How many times a year?
now I am able to go at least 3.
3 times a year?
Yes, ma'am.
Ever since that hurricane? You've been helping out with that too?
I try to help out a lot. What people don't understand is that they have a lot of hurricanes like every year
Yeah, but this
because
one was a real big.
yes, but I guess if you've lived through it, if you've seen things, then it's kind of not as intense as someone not actually going through
Yes,
the
it's a shock,
cycles.
really.
So yeah, so I go and I help regardless, even when it's in and out of season. I just feel that God has put me on this earth to serve and to help, especially from the things that I've been through and the things that He's allowed me to overcome. So yeah,
That's
I go
right.
a lot.
So you're a motivational speaker. What else? Do you write or do you sing?
I can hold a note. I can hold a note, but I haven't been
No?
singing lately. I do a lot
Oh.
of voiceovers,
Oh,
however.
voiceovers in
Um,
shows or something?
Yes, I do a lot of voiceovers for WLTH, also for WELT
Radio station
88.7.
here, radio station
Yes.
here. Well, 95.7?
95.7 FM. I also
Right.
do WELT, that is in Gary, that is 88.7 AM. Um, WSMK, that's 99.1.
99, what, yeah.
99.1, that's in Niles, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
I also do a couple of voiceovers in California and
Oh.
Tennessee. So,
You got a good voice. Really.
thank you.
So what characters do you normally, when you do voiceovers, like commercials or?
Okay, so some of the voiceovers are most of the voiceovers that I do is like with commercials or pharmaceutical
Oh,
commercials. And I usually with those they pay the most. And if you know how to speak very quickly and you can get the flow really intact, then you get a lot of promotions. I also do things for like non-for-profits like the YMCA, the YWCA
yes.
of America,
Yes.
the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club, yes. We worked with them before. Oh, so you are also on radio.
Yes.
Yes, we already spoke that. You are a professional helper. What is that, dear?
Yes.
What do you do?
Okay, a professional helper. First, I will say this. I think that everyone comes to this earth and they have a gift and they know what they want. But then somehow, I guess in the rut of life, sometimes we tend to follow what man or what other people tell you that you're entitled or what your path should be. So when I remember when I was 4 years old because I was in kindergarten like twice because I couldn't pass through because I wasn't old enough.
Right. They put you in too early.
Yes. So I remember my teacher, her name was Miss Butler, and she asked everyone what they wanted to be, and I told her that, all these people are saying they want to be doctors, lawyers, nurses, they want to be scientists, and I was like, I want to be a helper, and everyone started laughing, even she did. She was like, what is a helper? And I was like, a helper is someone who helps other people in their time of need. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You're supposed to be a helpmate. So, yeah, they laughed and they're like, well, maybe
Well, I
you
don't
should
find
be.
that funny. I think
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, so
for
they're
it.
like, maybe you should be maybe you should be a teacher like the rest of your family and do that. And I said, okay. But as I found out, as I grew up and I started learning more about myself, that God put that in me for a reason. And during this time, I ended up finding that my greatest potential was through my weakness, helping others. And I've,
you heal.
yeah, I did heal, but I've acquired so much as to doing it. And when people come to me, they're like, so, like, you do so many things. What do you title yourself? And I say, well, I'm a professional helper now. I've been a helper so long that I've mastered that skill. So
You take psychology, and
I take psychology now. Yes.
I was going to say we have something here in front of us, right in front. What is that? That looks like a crown. Oh, and it says Miss Indiana. When did you become Miss
Miss,
yes.
Indiana.
What
I
year?
was Miss Indiana 2015.
Ah.
My platform was regaining stability to fight against homelessness.
Homelessness, yes.
Yes.
So how are you helping them here?
Actually, I work at a shelter called Ave Maria. That is, and actually the owner there, it's so crazy how we met, but God is really good. She is my mentor, and she kind of trained me. Before I came to Fort Wayne, I was in the process of creating a shelter in Gary for girls and women to regain stability and make their transition back into normal society. I also have a mother that deals with this every day. She also has mental illness. So in that field, and my father was the same way. So in that field, and not having a mental illness is really, really high. It was really, really unlikely, I'm sorry, for me not to have one. So since I overcame that, I ended up doing that. But it didn't happen because I guess it was not God's will. I came to Fort Wayne, and this lady took me under her wings, and I've been there for 4 years ever since.
Yeah.
And she taught me the ins and outs of homelessness and how to function.
Okay.
And her name is Dottie Carpenter.
Dottie Carpenter.
Yes,
Yes. She sounds like a very passionate and loving lady.
yes, she really is.
So when you go down to Haiti, is there a lot of homelessness there because of all these continual hurricanes?
Well,
Are they getting back to normal, so to speak?
I guess you can say back to normal, but
normal.
they're trying to regain, I guess, stability and try to, make do.
Yeah. Do they have their electricity back?
Some people have electricity, but you have to think about it that it's not like America, like you see, 90% have electricity. In some of the areas, especially in Soleil, like over 50% of the population lives without electricity.
So with or without the hurricanes,
Right.
that's how they are.
Exactly. Some are not like that. If you go to Port-au-Prince, of course, people go there, or they go to the edge on Dominica, on the edge of Hispaniola. I can't say that in English.
Oh.
And you'll have Dominica and you'll have Haiti right here. You're going to see a lot of electricity and a lot of up-to-date functions. But if you go into the outskirts, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see the buildings where, because they have beautiful buildings in Haiti, beautiful water.
Yeah.
So clear. But you're not going to see the huge buildings. A lot of people have 10, So it's a different dynamic.
Culture.
Yeah.
So,
But they're still trying to get back.
do you speak a lot of
Creole?
Haiti? Creole?
Yes.
There are people in my audience who would know that language. Would you like to say something?
Ça passe.
What was that? Hello?
Yes.
Ça passe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I have the language. So when you're down in Haiti, what duties again do you do? Do you do missionary work or professional help or what?
Well, that title professional helper is like something that I do, that I live out. It's not just a title, it's something that I live out every day. You don't have to get a paycheck for what you do. Your paycheck is how you serve. How do you go there? The money will follow. So when I go down to Haiti, right now I'm working on a project to create a shelter for girls, 7th and 8th graders.
Shelter? That
Yes.
young?
For 7th and 8th graders, yes. Because when you get to the age of between 12 and 14, if you don't have enough instruction or anything like that, you're going to, chances are you're going to live back into poverty, into impoverished conditions. So you want to educate. That's the time when you come and get a chance to educate people to live better lives so they can become their greatest person. I know that when they talk about children in America, they say age 7 is when you can tell the potential of a kid. So if you groom them within those stages, that's the most dynamic time. Well, in Haiti, for girls, it's around that time for them either to where they understand that they have another option other than living the way that they've always seen.
So they can be able to grow into better lives, to be instructed. It's good to have instructions, especially for the good of people and for the children, especially the children.
Yeah.
Because if you can help change, think positive for the kids, they'll be thinking positive and they'll have a better future. And their kids after them and all that.
That is living proof, because
Yeah.
I'm living proof myself with that. I've seen that, because even with my family, I see some of the differences, because people gave me so much of an opportunity to learn different things. And I'm going to quote my grandmother one more time. She
Go
told
ahead.
me that I'm not going to be able to teach you all that you need to know, but God will always direct you to people to know what you need to know. And I've learned that during my course. She just told me to stay open-minded and keep going, don't stop. And I've learned that through all of the things that I've went through, whether it's good or bad. If you keep an open mind and you listen and
Mature.
you're humble, you can learn just about anything. So
That is good. You never stop learning, no matter how old you are.
that's true.
Young, intermediate, elderly. Even when you go to heaven, you're still learning. True.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So you have sponsors backing you at all, or?
Actually, I have a couple of sponsors. It is the Swedish Association of Young Adults, well, development of young adults. That is the largest sponsor, and I'm grateful for that, because it took, I was just shocked that even happened, because actually when I went through this, I just said I didn't know how it was going to go. I know it was brought to me in my spirit, and I'm just going to go with it, and whoever God leads me to help, it's going to happen that way.
You
So
can sense that someone who's in need of help,
yeah.
When someone's in trouble, you can feel it.
Yeah.
That's kind of illogical. No, not illogical. I mean, that's kind of, well, it's normal
It is.
to feel that.
If you
someone,
listen to it, if you don't cover it and you don't hide it, sometimes people don't understand that.
You're a
Especially,
listener. You listen
yes, I
you
try
do.
to.
from the heart.
Yeah,
It's the Holy
sometimes
Spirit,
you do.
really.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit's having guiding you. He's from God and our Lord Jesus. So, when you do go back to Haiti several times in the year, how long do you normally stay there? Several weeks, a month, what?
Sometimes I'll stay a couple of days. Sometimes I'll try to stay a month, because sometimes I still try to stay involved with the community in Fort Wayne as well, because I feel like if I'm living here, I need to contribute.
Right.
Anywhere that you're putting your feet on soil, you should contribute. So right now we're working on a program to assist young women and young adults on eating healthy, keeping their mind
Yes.
balanced, so you can have mental clarity. That does branch into that whole mental illness sector. So if you keep your mind and stay agility and exercise, that can cut out a lot of unnecessary stress and things like that. So that is one of the projects that I'm working with my makeup line, Bubble Eye Blowfish. So,
Bubble.
and that's here in Fort Wayne.
Do you work with the homeless people here?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Do you work with Vincent Village?
I don't.
It's a good place to work.
I've heard.
So, when you help the homeless here, do you go downtown? Do you go to them, with them?
Yes, the shelter that I work at is Ave Maria House. It's on 432 Madison Street, directly downtown off of Lafayette, close to, it's behind St. Mary's Church.
Yes.
It is across the street from Burger King. Yeah,
Oh, that's a
across
good
the street
place.
from Burger King. So it's directly downtown.
And they open their doors.
Yes, the doors are open from 10 to 2. It's a day shelter. So there, we're actually dealing with people who are literally homeless on the street, living under the bridge or in a car or things like that. So we help them with showers, getting public assistance, just regaining stability. Anything that they need to get back on their feet and become productive, we're doing.
So you see a lot of homeless people with kids?
Yes, yes, a lot of
How do they
homeless women.
feed them?
We also feed them. Yes, we also feed them and direct them. Not only that, but direct them to other services. So,
Ah,
say for instance, if we can't help them, they need something longer term. They can still come to the Ave Maria shelter and still get help and assistance. But we're going to refer them to people who, because there is a lot of help in Fort Wayne. So we're all about like loving our neighbor and helping someone get to the best that they can possibly be. So we can refer them to other resources that can do
oh,
that.
yes, other resources. I was just going to ask you.
Yes.
I mean, how you help them out. You can't do everything for them. The other people, other organizations who love to help. So, finally, what would you like to share with my audience about what you do and how you would you like to help out our beautiful, fair city, Fort Wayne City?
First, I want to thank Fort Wayne for allowing me to partake in this. I think Fort Wayne has a lot of potential and it's growing and manifesting into something very different than what most people are familiar with Fort Wayne, but it's a great positive thing. So I'm grateful for that. Also, I believe that nothing happens on accident. Everything happens for a reason. Someone had to hear this. If you're going through any kind of cycle that you feel like you need help, reach out to someone, even if they don't answer. I had a lot of people that shut a lot of doors to me. Maybe it might be something that God is directing you to do something different.
Planting a seed, though.
Yes, it might direct you into doing something different. With me, it was making makeup, and that led to doing motivational speaking, and that led to, talking to people and telling them about my experience. But it all started out with operating out of my need and operating out of my gift. So if you take those two and you apply it, everything else would follow, I promise you, because that is what the Creator has given you, your gift and the need, because everyone on this planet has a need. I don't give a care how rich they are, how poor they are.
Right. Human beings are precious.
Everyone has a need. We don't come here all perfect, but if you operate out of your need and out of your gift, that something that you can do that nobody else can do, you will find your way. So
everybody has God's gift. Everyone has a different gift from each other, and I'm glad that you have that gift. What he has given to you. Sorry. What he had given to you, and I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belle Dean, for coming on to my show, and I'd like to thank everyone. She is a professional helper. Where else do you work here?
Well, I work for NPR in Chicago, and that's doing a miniature reporter. Here in Fort Wayne, I do some social work dealing with people with autism.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you. And this is her line of work. Bubbled ID.
Bubble-eyed blowfish.
Blowfish. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for being on my show, and thank you, audience, for coming in and being with us, and we would like to see you again next week. God bless.
Godspeed.